Hi, who are you looking at? I'm looking at Freya. Come here, baby girl. Who are you looking at? King of France at this point, Louis the 16th, Queen Marie Antoinette. And again, they have what is happening? Okay, they have a money problem, debt, big time. What are those? The three estates. And you have the first estate, which is made up of the clergy, the second estate, made up of the nobility, the third estate, which is made up of three groups: the bourgeoisie, who are the rich, middle class, the city workers, who are the poor, middle class, and then you have the peasants, who are like the starving. Clergy pays 2% taxes. Nobles, their taxes service only, no money. And then you have the third estate paying 50% taxes. Louis wants to fix that. He's got to get taxes from somewhere. So he decides to get the estates general back together, like parliament basically, so that they can pass laws. But the way that he has set up the voting, well, it's not him, the way the voting is set up, it doesn't allow the third estate to really do anything. So some people start getting a little vocal, a little angry, and they declare themselves the National Assembly. And the National Assembly says, we're writing a new constitution, remember? And everybody goes to this tennis court right here, and they vow at the tennis court oath, we're going to force Louis to sign this constitution, and it's going to get us out of an absolute monarchy, and it's going to get us to a constitutional, a limited monarchy, just like England. But there's some drama, and eventually what happens? There's a slight skirmish at the Bastille, the prison, okay? They want ammunition. Louis is like, are people talking about a revolution? What? And so there is some threat there that people are going to be arrested. There is some rumor that people are afraid that Austria is coming with Prussia to attack them, which isn't true at all. But kind of just drama happens, and the Bastille goes bye-bye. Becomes a big symbol. Almost said signal. Becomes a big almost did it again. It becomes a big symbol of the French Revolution. Okay, it becomes a big symbol of the French Revolution, and it's on. Okay, fast forward a little bit. For the next few months, things are kind of quiet on the revolutionary side. Okay, people are kind of just going back to their normal lives, but they're afraid. It's a period called the Great Fear. They're afraid, which I mean I totally get, but eventually that great fear leads to this: the Women's March on Versailles. Okay, for whatever reason, and it's because climate is warmer for whatever reason in France at this point, but for whatever reason, there are massive crop failures all across France. Okay, um, hold on. Okay, am I on? Yes, I had to let Freya out. She was getting antsy. She was like, I want to go outside. Look how much light there is from outside. Okay, so anyway, um, my dogs are so cute, you guys. Okay, so anyway, there's a major crop failure. The peasants especially have no food at all. I told you when we talked about the third or the three estates that a lot of the city workers are going to bed hungry at night, which means the peasants are what? They're already starving. A lot of people are losing children or parents or whatever. A lot of the more vulnerable populations are dying. And the women especially are like, I've had it. I've had enough. I'm done. And so a group of women decide to get together and march to Versailles to demand food. Okay, a couple of like whatevers about this. This is not a march like we're marching to go to war. No, it's just kind of a mob going. And a lot of these women are hungry, starving, tired, weak. They're also marching 12 miles. I shouldn't say marching, walking 12 miles. It's not like this was short, okay? I have a hard time believing this picture. Although, this is a really famous picture that comes from the time period. This is what I have a hard time believing. When you're so angry, adrenaline takes over, and it's very possible that adrenaline just like turned these women into just beasts, and they just dragged these cannons all the way to Versailles for 12 miles. Man, that's totally possible. I'm not saying it's not, but we also see here a bunch of clubs, spears. Here's a sword, some pitchforks, all kinds of good stuff to murder people with. Originally, the purpose of the Women's March was not to murder people. Although that's going to happen. It gets all kinds of crazy. But the purpose was originally just to go and like get food, because everybody knew that Versailles was having all these feasts, and everybody knew that the nobles had all this food. And so these peasant women are like, darn it, we're going to get us some food no matter what we have to do. Well, there's also going to be a bunch of men there. Boys, be honest. You like girl fights better than boy fights. There's a lot of men who just want to see something. So there's going to be a whole lot of men going with these women, kind of egging them on. Kind of like, I wonder what Marie wore today. I wonder if your taxes paid for it. I wonder what Marie ate today. I wonder if she had her a whole piece of chicken. And I just like that word, chicken. And if she had a steak. And I wonder if she had her some apples and some ice cream. I wonder. And these women are getting more and more angry as they're going, because the men are riling them up. Absolutely. Okay. That being said, it's going to turn into this. Look at here, man. Holy cow, dude. You see men, okay, carrying around heads of musketeers. The women, when they do finally get to Versailles, they just kind of straight past into the gates, and they go up to the front and they're like, we want food. Well, it has also turned into not just we want food, but we want the royal family. Like, people are just angry, and sometimes that anger has to come out. Now, maybe it shouldn't come out this way with like heads and stuff, but people are going to get their heads chopped off and like stuck on spears. And you see the men like, woohoo, carrying them around and stuff. It gets kind of crazy. Not kind of, it does get crazy. I think I have a third picture here. There's a bunch of pictures of this. Here's another one. And they're really hard to see because they're like drawings from the time period. This is actually a German one. Yeah, this is actually a German one. Like a newspaper saying, oh my gosh, do you guys know what's happening in France? I'm about to sneeze. Maybe not. Man, I've had a hard time today with the warm weather. Okay, and yesterday too, but whatever. That being said, look at this picture. This picture, you have like women stealing stuff. I mean, you have like, I don't even know what they're going through here. These guys are like climbing into Versailles, where these nobles are like, they're like giving them stuff. So, I mean, it just gets crazy. Yeah, it gets totally out of hand. The crowds are demanding heads. The crowds are demanding everything, not just food. At some point, it is demanded that the royal family comes back with them. Basically, that they're put under house arrest. Well, they're put under arrest. They're going to be arrested, the whole royal family, taken from Versailles and taken to Paris, where they will be put under house arrest. They're not like thrown into some prison cell. I mean, it's still the king and queen. It's like I talked about in the last video, the third estate isn't quite on the same page with what they want. The lower level members of the third estate are like, kill the king, we want him dead, yes. But the upper level, the bourgeoisie is like, calm down, we want the king, okay? We want a two-party system where we have a king and we have a parliament. So calm down, crazy low-class people. So you kind of have this like, I don't know, this issue of like, who's gonna get what they want? Well, you probably already know who gets what they want. But that being said, the king and queen are arrested, but they are taken into like house arrest. The original idea for that is, king, you don't know how people are living in Paris. You're 12 miles away, sequestered in your gorgeous house, having feasts and parties every day. You don't know what it's like on the streets of Paris. So we're going to move you to Paris so that you can actually see what it's like. That's kind of the original idea from the bourgeoisie perspective, okay? However, again, that's not the idea of the lower level members of the third estate, okay? So at this point, the royal family is arrested, they're under house arrest, all right? Versailles gets totally looted. Um, the peasants, the third estate, goes in and they take whatever food they can. I'm going to move this a little bit closer because I keep hitting it. Okay, with my leg because I move. So anyway, they're going to go in and steal, take, I don't really know, but take as much food as possible. They're also, I mean, you see right here, they're like pulling this giant trunk. They do go into the nobles' rooms and like sections, and they start stealing stuff. They're going to be able to sell a lot of that stuff, especially to England. But they're going to be able to sell a lot of that stuff and actually get some wealth from some of this. Anything that looked like it was wealthy in any way, shape, or form, the peasants are going to steal. Okay, so what are all the nobles doing? They're running for their lives. When the royal family gets arrested, when all this happens, when the peasants flood into Versailles and start taking and destroying things, the nobles flood out. The nobles are like, get me out of here. The nobles are going to jump on horses and they're running away. Okay, I know you have the mindset that if something bad happens, you're going to take all your stuff with you. No, you're not. No, you're not. If something bad happens, all that is on your mind is your life and your loved ones. These nobles jump on their horses and they run, often with only what's on their back. They're going to end up leaving all their jewelry. They're going to end up leaving, they're not packing most of them. I mean, they're just trying to get out of there. They're going back to their original family homes, outside of Paris. If you remember, Louis XIV made them all leave their homes and move to Versailles. But most of them do still have their original holdings in France. So most of them are scattering. As a result of this, we have a social status flip-flop. The nobles, because they're all scattering and they're all running away to their homes, they don't have their wealth with them. They're noble born still, but are they nobility anymore? Effectively, what's going to happen is the bourgeoisie is going to become like the new nobility. The city workers are going to become like the new upper middle class. The old peasants are going to become like the low middle class. And it's because they're selling stuff. They really are stealing stuff from Versailles and they're taking it to other places and selling it, especially, I'll kid you not, especially England. England's buying a lot of this stuff, okay? So they're going to get some wealth. Meanwhile, however, the old nobles, they got nothing. And they go to like some of the bourgeois members and they're like, what are we supposed to do? Figure it out. Figure it out, nobles. I don't know. Maybe you should go get a job, Mr. Nobleman. A job? What? They're effectively at the bottom of society now. So we've kind of had a little bit of a shift, social status wise. Freya, what are you doing? She's eating a rock. Oh my gosh. Okay, I saved my dog from the rock. All right, so anyway, we now have this like change in social statuses, which is going to lead us directly to, finally, the DRMC, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen. The Constitution has been written. Yes. Okay, this Constitution is very heavily inspired by our Constitution. Well, not really our Constitution, especially our Declaration of Independence. All right. This right here, it's very idealistic. It's full of Enlightenment ideas, which I'll talk about in a minute. But what's going to end up happening with the DRMC, again, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, DRMC, okay? What's going to happen with the DRMC is it's going to swing the government so far this way toward Enlightenment ideas that things are going to get a little bit crazy, okay? So I think I'm going to stop right there and I'll deal with all the reforms in the next video, okay? It's getting long.